talk just a little bit about the draw reins that I guess invented or devised or whatever. And I've been training horses for years, and I always found it necessary with so many horses that I really needed to use draw reins. Otherwise, I had a little trouble keeping a headset. I had a little trouble keeping them collected. And so I used draw reins, but I always had trouble with draw reins. And the problems I had with regular raw reins, and I've used the rolled leather, the cord, the rope, whatever, is so many times, yes, you can get their head down, but so many horses using straight draw reins, they'll actually overset. Otherwise, they'll run through the bridle. They'll put their head way down. They don't necessarily even try to slow down. And to me, that's almost worse than throwing a horse's head out or escaping by getting too high. Otherwise, when they get behind the bridle or behind the bit, I really had a problem with that. Another problem I have with draw reins, anytime you ride with regular draw reins, you're almost forced to ride with two hands. Otherwise, the way they're made, the rolled leather, the rope, or whatever, you'll need to use two hands. And obviously, training a horse with two hands is really good. But to me, especially on a more finished horse, you need to ride with one hand. If you got to show with one hand, I think you need to do a lot of training, because it's a complete different feel using two hands on the reins and using one hand, using your neck rein or one hand only. I used the German martingale a lot, and German martingale was really good. And I know a lot of people use the German martingale. This advantage I have with the German martingale, because it goes down, ties between their legs, a lot of horses I really had trouble bending with the German martingale. Otherwise, it pulls their head down, but it's hard to get their head laterally. So using the German martingale was okay. It was also very inconvenient with me, a German martingale. I'd almost have to take my other reins off, switch reins to another bit as I use it on different horses. So I experimented around for years. I'd used all kind of cords and whatever, trying to devise a system. And I finally came up with kind of a homemade version of how to make a draw reins. I made them out of rope at first, or cord, and made where I can adjust it to actually put a stop on my reins. The original reins that I had made were just the raw reins by themselves. Otherwise, they had the snap where you attached it to your cinch, had the adjustment, then you took another set of reins tied here. And I guess I used them. They seemed to work well because I always had an old pair of reins and a tack saw. Maybe something was broke, because you really don't need that long a rein. When you're using these draw reins, a 5 or 6 foot rein is really all the rein you need. You certainly don't want a 7 or 8 foot rein, or they're going to be dragging the ground. So this was your original version of it, made with the rolled leather, and you just attach your reins, an old set of reins. I know a lot of people use them, just use roping reins or barrel reins on top of them, and that worked. They came up, a lot of people, otherwise when they bought these, they didn't necessarily have another set. So they came up, devised several other schemes. Number one, they came up with a rolled leather rein, okay, with the adjustment, and then they had a heavy-duty harness rein to it. And these reins are a little shorter. They're maybe 6 foot long, but they're really good quality reins. In fact, you want to steal them away and put them on your regular bridle. They're heavy-duty. They're kind of a 5/8 inch rein, but it's really good quality leather. They came up with number one, the rolled leather, and also a type versus rolled leather. They came up with a cord. Okay, it's a hard compressed cord, has the reins attached. When I put them on, normally when I use these reins, I'll just leave my regular reins on. And again, because it might be a horse I'm riding the same bit, several different horses or whatever, I'll just tie them back to the saddle horn or tie them through the swell of my saddle, get them out of the way reasonably loose. You'll take your draw reins, there's a snap on the end, and I normally fasten it here to the D-ring of my cinch. Some people will actually teach and put the D-ring on your saddle or up here your breast collar ring. Most of the time I find the best position for me is the D-ring of your cinch. And then you take your sliding snap here, attach that to the bit, okay, and you have your rein. Of course, do the same thing on the other side. Attach the D-ring of my saddle, the sliding snap here, and go. The adjustment on these reins, and the adjustment's pretty important, and you kind of need to play around, ride a horse for a little bit and see. Normally, like these are adjusted. I normally, if anything, I'd rather have them a little too loose at first than too tight. Otherwise, whereas these are adjusted, you'll see when she sets her head to about there, which is quite a bit of head set, then I have the direct rein. Okay, so I'll leave them here. They also make these reins what they call like an extra large. And the problem you might run into, like this mare, these regular reins are fine. But if I had a big 16-hand or more horse and put these on, a lot of times their neck a lot longer. When if they really pick their head up, it's going to be like a tie down. Otherwise, they're going to hit it. So for a bigger horse, you need to buy the extra large set of rein or put an extension on them so they do happen to throw their head up. They aren't tied down. Okay, and some horses would fight that. The regular set on most of the horses I ride, which are 15 hands or less, I guess, normally, these would be about right. I put the reins on. And go ahead. And again, adjustment. Might need to ride with them for a while. I think my left one's a little looser than my right one right now, but that's okay. Okay. Again, one of the big things I like about these draw reins is when I put them on a horse, I ride just like they're not there. Otherwise, number one, it allows me to ride with one hand a lot more. And you'll see as I'm going around, if I pick up on the reins, especially if she picks her head up, I get a little draw rein effect. But right there, I'm on a direct rein, okay? Which is my ultimate goal. That's the way I've got to show them. And I'd like for these draw reins to be on there and work very similar to a running martingale. Otherwise, the draw reins only affect them when their head is in a poor position, okay? If their head is good, I want my direct rein because that's the way I've got to show them, and that's the way I want my finished product to be. But I like them because I can still do a lot of bending, and the way they're attached, it's easy to bend for a horse. It's easy to go around. Again, the two things I like the most about it, number one, they don't over bridle. And number two, I can ride with one hand, okay? I'm not strapped in having to ride with two hands all the time. Like I say, you can vary the adjustment a little bit. And if anything, I'd like them a little bit long. I think you can use them on a horse at almost any stage of training. I wouldn't necessarily put them on the colt maybe the first month or so you ride them. They're still reasonably green, and they don't necessarily understand setting their head that much. You can also sometimes, if I'm riding a colt, if he tries to buck or something, I want to be able to pick his head up. I don't necessarily want him to set his head so he can buck a little harder that way. But you can use them on a horse at any level of training. You know, after they've been ridden for a couple months, I think you just put the draw reins on, ride like you normally ride. You can go ahead, ride with one hand, even if you want to ride with two hands. I know a lot of people use them. Like I've had a lot of barrel racers that use them. Quite a few people riding cutting horses. I know a lot of people with reining horses and pleasure horses also use them. Quite a few English riders. But I love to ride them. You can never hurt a horse by using these. Otherwise, there's no bad habits. They will not over bridle unless you have them set way too much. You can ride with one hand. You can ride with two hands. They're very easy to put on and off and very easy to use. Thank you.